The WD Elements portable hard drive and the Samsung T7 portable SSD are both 2 TB external storage options that look similar on a product listing page. But the experience of using one versus the other is not the same, and this video covers every dimension of that difference and gives clear answer by the end. Speed is the most immediate and measurable difference between these two drives, and for any buyer who moves files regularly, it is the category that justifies looking at this comparison at all. The WD Elements uses a mechanical hard drive inside a compact enclosure connected via USB 3.2 Gen 1 at a theoretical ceiling of 5 gigabits per second. In practice, the spinning platters inside the drive are the real bottleneck. Real-world speeds land in the range typical for consumer-grade HDDs, well below what the USB connection could theoretically carry. For transferring documents, backing up a phone, or archiving old photos to free up space, those speeds are adequate. But importing a day's worth of video footage or syncing a large gaming library takes noticeably longer than it would on a solid-state drive. The Samsung T7 uses PCIe NVMe technology embedded inside a USB 3.2 Gen 2 portable enclosure, delivering read speeds up to 1050 megabytes per second and write speeds up to 1000 megabytes per second. Those are nearly twice the speeds of the previous T5 generation and place the T7 firmly in professional portable SSD territory. A photographer transferring a full day of raw files, a filmmaker reviewing footage directly off the drive in an editing timeline, or a gamer loading large save states can do all of that without copying files first and waiting. The T7 handles the task live at speed without making you stop and wait. That difference in workflow is the core of this comparison, and it is felt on every single use. Edge. Samsung T7. Decisively on transfer performance. The WD Elements is a compact, lightweight enclosure housing a traditional spinning drive. It is approximately the size of a deck of cards and easy to carry, but it carries no official drop rating, no water resistance certification, and no dust protection. The mechanical components inside are sensitive to physical shock. A hard drop or a sharp impact while the drive is reading or writing data creates real risk of damage or data corruption. For a drive that stays at a desk, this is a manageable trade-off. For a drive that gets tossed into a bag, travels in a backpack, or moves between locations frequently, the lack of physical protection is a legitimate concern, and customer-reported failures within months of use reflect that vulnerability in practice. The Samsung T7 is built around a solid aluminum unibody construction and rated for drop protection up to 6 feet. There are no moving parts to damage, NVMe solid-state storage has no read/write heads to crash, no platters to spin down in time before a drop. The T7 is compact enough to fit in a shirt pocket and built to survive the kind of incidental drops and bumps that happen in real daily use. Customers consistently describe the build as premium, and the aluminum shell communicates a level of physical confidence that the WD Elements plastic enclosure does not. The T7 also supports recording ultra-high-resolution 4K video directly onto the drive, including iPhone 15 Pro Res 4K at 60 frames per second, which requires both sustained write speeds and a drive that can stay reliable under continuous workloads. Edge. Samsung T7. On build confidence and physical protection. The WD Elements connects via USB and is plug-and-play ready out of the box on both Windows and Mac. No drivers, no setup software, no configuration needed. It works across virtually every device with a USB port, including older computers and USB-A only systems. That universality is a genuine convenience for buyers who use multiple machines or connect the drive to TVs, gaming consoles, or car infotainment systems that only support USB-A. The Samsung T7 uses USB-C as its primary connector with USB 3.2 Gen 2, and includes a USB-C to USB-A adapter in the box for backward compatibility. It is compatible with PC, Mac, Android, and select iOS devices, and Samsung has tested and confirmed support for mobile device workflows including direct recording. For the full 1050 megabytes per second speed, a USB-C Gen 2 port is required on the host device. Users connecting via the USB-A adapter will see reduced speeds. On modern laptops and current generation computers, that is rarely a limitation. On older hardware, it matters. Edge. WD Elements on universal plug-and-play. Samsung T7 on modern platform breadth. Both drives carry customer-reported failure patterns, and this comparison would not be complete without addressing that directly. The WD Elements has multiple customer reports of drive failures within months of use. This is consistent with consumer-grade HDD enclosures where mechanical components are more vulnerable to physical stress, heat, and continuous use over time. For buyers treating this as a single-copy archive or primary storage, that failure pattern is a real risk. The Samsung T7 also has a segment of customers reporting units that stopped working after a short period. SSD failures are less predictable than HDD failures in some respects. They do not announce themselves the way a clicking hard drive does. Samsung produces its DRAM and NAND in-house, which gives them tighter quality control than manufacturers sourcing third-party components, and the T7 has a larger base of satisfied customers reporting consistent long-term reliability. Still, no external drive should ever be treated as a sole backup for data that cannot be replaced. For both drives, back up to at least 2 locations. The T7's track record is stronger in aggregate, but that does not change the fundamental rule. Edge. Samsung T7. On overall reliability confidence. At 2 terabytes, both drives cover the same ground in this specific comparison. But the WD Elements is available in capacities up to 6 terabytes, and at higher capacities the cost per terabyte advantage for mechanical storage becomes increasingly significant. For buyers building a long-term archive, raw footage libraries, photography archives going back years, large game collections, the WD Elements at higher capacities offers a volume of storage the Samsung T7 cannot match at equivalent pricing. The Samsung T7 is available up to 4 terabytes, which covers most active use scenarios. but bulk archival storage at minimum cost per gigabyte remains an area where HDD technology still holds a clear economic advantage. Edge, WD Elements, on cost per terabyte at higher capacities. Both drives are genuinely small and easy to carry. The T7 is frequently compared in size to a credit card, compact enough to sit in a wallet pocket or clip to a keychain with the included USB cable loop. The WD Elements is slightly larger but still pocketable and described by customers as roughly the size of a deck of cards. For buyers who need a drive to physically travel with them on every shoot, trip, or commute, the T7's combination of compact size and physical durability makes it the more confident travel companion. Edge, Samsung T7, slight edge on travel confidence. The WD Elements capacity ceiling of 6 terabytes at its price tier is a genuine advantage that solid-state alternatives have not matched economically. For home users archiving media, students maintaining large project histories, or buyers who simply want maximum storage for minimum cost without needing performance, the WD Elements at higher capacity configurations offers a storage per dollar ratio that the T7 cannot replicate. It is the right drive for that specific buyer, and that buyer is more common than the spec sheet competition suggests. The Samsung T7's price range fluctuates significantly, from approximately $98 at the low end to $190 at the high end for the 2 terabyte model. At the higher end of that range, the value calculation becomes less straightforward, and buyers should monitor pricing before purchasing rather than assuming the lower price will be available. Buying at the top of that range narrows the gap in value per dollar compared to SSD alternatives like the SanDisk Extreme at equivalent specs. The Samsung T7 portable SSD wins this comparison, and the reasoning holds across the categories that affect everyday use. At prices ranging from approximately $98 to $190 for 2 terabytes, the T7 delivers NVMe class speeds up to 1050 megabytes per second, a solid aluminum build rated for 6-foot drop protection, no moving parts vulnerable to shock damage, broad compatibility across PC, Mac, Android, and iOS, support for 4K direct recording workflows, and a reliability track record that outpaces the WD Elements in aggregate customer experience. For the buyer who moves files regularly, travels with their drive, or uses it in any active workflow, the T7 removes the friction that the WD Elements adds. The WD Elements at $89 is the right choice for a clearly defined buyer. Someone who needs maximum storage at minimum cost, keeps the drive in a safe environment, and does not need fast transfer speeds as part of their regular workflow. For home archiving, simple backups, and media storage that stays at a desk, it delivers genuine value without overpaying for performance that the use case does not require. But if you are choosing a drive that goes where you go and keeps up with what you do, the Samsung T7 is built for exactly that. The Samsung T7 portable SSD is the winner. Both drives are linked in the description below. Go check current pricing before you buy, because the T7 in particular has seen a wide price range, and catching it at the lower end makes the value case even stronger. And a note that applies to both drives. Neither one should be the only place your important files live. Whatever you choose, keep a second copy somewhere. External drives fail, the best ones and the budget ones alike. If you want to know which drive, gadget, or piece of tech is actually the right fit for your life before you spend $1, hit subscribe. This channel is built to protect your next decision. The T7 wins this one, and thanks for watching.